Hey there, welcome back to the table. So we're gonna continue here, and as promised, we got a little bit of story to go through. We're on mission 13 here. It's called the Yours. So let's get the camera in position here. All right, so let's see. We'll start here. As always, Captain Soma is a step ahead of everyone else, and while the Sparrow is landing, she preps you for your mission. Rather than head out there myself, I want you to handle this. Diplomatically, it makes us look less needy. I'd prefer not to show my hand until we have a better idea of what's going on here. She reads the apprehension on your faces and adds, "Don't worry, pilots. I'll be sending Sol with you to act as the point on this." Sol's surprise indicates that this is news to him as well. Your first priority is to make contact with the leadership of the Sparks of Justice movement. We need a clear picture of how strong their position is. It is imperative that we get back the winning side here. Or that we back the winning side here. With strong allies in the coming days, our own cause is hopeless. I trust you read the situation and act appropriately. Good luck. Okay, I'm going to stop real quick. Right here where it says first priority is to meet with the Sparks of Justice. If you meet with the Sparks of Justice, you end up going down the Sparks of Justice path. Or we're going to find out, because when I played this before, there is a way to meet the establishment. So the establishment has like a headquarters on the planet, and so does the Sparks of Justice. And when we land on the planet, it's actually going to force you to go here and talk to these people. When you really, like, if you want to do the establishment path, you need to not talk to these people. You need to go to the establishment base instead. I mean, maybe there's a possibility you can talk to both. But I just wanted to point that out. Like, the game seems to be like very much telling you, your first priority is to speak with Sparks of Justice. We didn't speak with them at all. In fact, we were against them all the way to the end. We did negotiate peace between both of them because the whole thing was stupid. But still, that's just something I wanted to point out. The text sometimes in here is like, I think this is a great game, but it's a little unpolished. And I mean, look how thick this book is. Whoever made this game, I don't know the guy's name. I think he did a fantastic job. I think that this is like biting off more than you can chew, though. Like, to get everything right and like the proofreading and all that, like it's a little lacking. And so this is one of those areas. So your first priority is to make contact with them or the other side, the establishment. There is no one side only thing here. So anyways, enough of that. So then we're going to be doing what's called Jerarch World Exploration. So we got to go into our deck of cards here and find Jerarch, which I don't know if I will. Sorry. Everything is okay. So here we go. So we got some. This was Chosek, the moon that we just did, right? So we don't have to do that. We haven't landed on Jerarch yet. This is a weird planet, by the way, when we land on that one. So look how huge this planet is. There is a ton of places to go. Like I said, we're going to be going to this multiple times. But there's really only going to be one time that we're going to explore it. Eventually, we're going to just stop pulling out these tiles and, going to wherever we need to go. But you can see how crazy this gets. And so it's basically saying, we got the start here. I'm just going to lay it here for now. But basically, we landed, and this is where we are. So I can grab all of our miniatures, put them on there, and actually, we'll put them off to the side. Let's look at it real quick. You can see there's right away a triple intelligence check, which I can't even remember what it is, but some of these could be really misleading, but, because they're just nothing burgers. But so we're going to immediately have to read 70. And then there's a way to go right, north, and west. So basically, we're going to be in the center bottom of the grid that forms the planet exploration. And here you can see there's a dock section. And this little yellow line, I don't know if I explained it well enough, but that just means it's a repeatable action. You can do that more than once. And of course, these ones you can only do one time. So, and then 70 here is more than once as well, which is an interesting thing. But I'm not going to read any of that yet because it says set it up. It doesn't say start. So, so everything's set up, and then we'll keep going. All right, emerging from the Sparrow into the warmth of the morning sun feels good. The breeze is cool, but you can smell hints of smoke and oil blowing in from across the city. The landing area was the site of a firefight recently. The blast marks are still visible. A group of yours approaches, not a group of yours, a group of yours, led by an athletic and agile-looking individual. Despite that, she also shares a short cane, perhaps an old injury or merely an affectation. That is a word I've never heard of before. Affectation. I'm going to have to look that up. Merely an affectation. So that would mean like makeup, like it's done for drama purposes. Interesting. You recognize her as the Sparks Ure who held the Sparrow in space. She addresses the group. Where is your captain? Never mind, I'm Lieutenant Pete. I'd like to welcome you to Jerarch. Oh, you know what? Is it different based on which one? No, it's not. No matter what, if you win, you go to scenario 13. It doesn't matter if you had establishment or sparks. Interesting. So like, let's say you chose the establishment side. You just basically shot a bunch of spark ships out of the sky, and now you're being greeted by Lieutenant Pete. You see, like, there's like a problem here. This is like, you just shut down like all of her comrades, and then here she is greeting you. Welcome to Jerarch. We're in the middle of a long overdue rebirth. Unfortunately, our leader, Commander Ardenan, will not be able to meet with you until later today, so I'll be back to collect you. I mean, that's literally it. I mean, if we go back, you could choose to aid the establishment. You get establishment introduction, so you read this little bit of purple, but nothing changes. After you beat the mission, it says go to scenario 13, and that's what we're reading right now is scenario 13. I thought this was very poor, and hopefully you can at least see where I'm coming from. It could be it's a little disjointed, I think is the right word. Okay, so we basically have a Sparks person coming back to collect us, even though, I mean, I know we just sided with them. Don't get me wrong. For this playthrough, we sided with them. But like the last time we did this, we shot them all out of the sky. It made no sense to us. These guides will be your escorts around the city. Should you need anything in the meantime, Lieutenant Pete indicates the other Ures who are with her before she leaves quickly and with purpose. Your group is left to look at each other, awkwardly as usual. Sol's the first to talk. So, what do you do on Jerarch with a few hours to coof? He's interrupted by a Ure barging into him. The two guide Sparks immediately lift their weapons and yell at the intruder to raise his arms. He cowers behind Sol, kneeling on the ground where he fell, a terrified expression on his dirty face. Whoa, 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 he cries out, clutching at Sol's jacket. Please, help me. His eyes are wild before some understanding dawns on him. You must be from the Akarios Institute. I recognize your ship. Give me sanctuary, I beg you. They'll kill me otherwise. Okay. So we can harbor the Ure. We can give the Ure up. Give the Europe, right? And we're going to give them a whole continent. Or don't get involved. We did the Harbor the Ure, and we were very pleased with doing that last time. And so I don't even want to pick the other ones, to be honest with you. It's just not my play style. So we are going to Harbor the Ure, and that means I got to find our thing. And then on here, there should be Harbor. And so we have to mark Harbor on the achievements. And that will come up time and time again as we go on. And so here we go. We're going to read the harbor part. In silent agreement, you all circle the Ur, hiding him from the Sparks guides. One of the Sparks speaks in a stern voice, "Give the male up. He's a member of the military and our prisoner." Really, he doesn't look like a prisoner to me, Sol appears calm and composed. But you notice he's cracking his knuckles as he does when on edge. He's a member of the United Intergalactic Alliance, and we're going to escort him to our captain for questioning. The two Sparks exchange wary glances. We have to report this to our superiors. Of course, you should get to it. I'm sure they'll want to know immediately. Sol looks on as they leave. Well, that kills two birds with one stone. The group turns to the panicked Ur, helping him stand as he brushes himself down. Thank you so much. I wasn't kidding about them killing me, you know. There have been reports of brutal acts everywhere. He shakes his hands in gratitude. My name is Dusty. I really owe you, and I promise I'll pay you back. But in the meantime, it's not safe for us, members of the establishment out here. Let me stay with you. So this is an establishment guy, right? We just chose to help the Sparks of Justice, not the establishment. So I may have done a stupid thing. I don't know. But here's part of the reason why I did the stupid thing. There is a pilot named Dusty. So we could potentially be unlocking this pilot. And he has 222, which is way better than some of our other guys. You know, how badly do I need Dusty? Well, I don't. But I just know that I'd rather have Dusty than not have Dusty. And, you know, if we did Ruthless, we would be handing him in, you know, to the Sparks, and you would think, okay, well, we chose to be, Jeff, you chose to ally yourself with the Sparks, so why don't you just hand him in? Well, because I don't want to be ruthless. So there's a little bit of role-playing in this, and, you know, you don't get anything for it. I mean, look at this. All it is a bunch of text, and that's it. We don't get anything. And then even if we chose to do nothing on the sidelines, we still don't get anything. So the only thing that you really get, just to bring it back, is you get Harbor, Ruthless, or Sidelines. Like, that's what you're truly getting out of this. So anyways, we're choosing the Harbor. So skip. Right then, asks Sol, who wants to see what's going on outside this landing pad? You all agree it's worth scoping out the situation. And I'm going to just go ahead and let you read, because this is all just flavor crap. We can head to the Sparks headquarters and message Captain Soma to meet there before our audience with Commander Ardenan. Or if you're looking for some fun, I just so happen to know about a local dive. Wondering briefly how Sol knows about such places. Leads to quizzical looks to each other. Sol responds with his signature grin. What, you didn't think the course in alien drinking establishments? Have things changed that much since I was a graduate? So, you know, because we chose Harbor, there's a ahem, and then there's a polite, you know, interruption. And basically, allow me to humbly say that those loyal to the government have started an underground resistance. If you come here looking for aid, then work with us. Give us the support we need. And, you know, the Sparks are malcontents. And especially once the people see their methods. So yeah, this is that establishment military base. So if you at least help Dusty, you at least learn about this underground base, which, like I said, is it's actually the hardest thing to find on the planet. You have to do like all these crappy things to be able to finally, you know, get there. And then here you can see Dusty invites you to meet him at the underground, and you explore to the northeast. The part that's interesting is that's a command, explore to the northeast. So I don't know how to do that. So here you can see you're at 01, right? And so 02 would be here, but I would have to reveal 02 to be able to go northeast. Like this would be north and that would be east. Like it makes no sense. So what we did was and like I said, this is where this mission just really falls apart. Not very well edited. So normally when it says explore to the northeast, you literally move your people to the northeast. and here you can see we have a choice. We can go to the Sparks headquarters. And so you go to the World Exploration Scenario 14 and you explore to the northwest. So it's telling you, to do that. And then, or we can check out the local cantina and explore east. So rather than taking them as commands, we took them as, but see, right here it says choice. So they're both saying go to 14. This one's saying go northwest. This one says go east. And then, of course, that one says go northeast. So this is a whole ball of mess, if you ask me. So, okay, we make a choice. I can tell you with certainty you can go to both of these locations. So you don't have to choose one or the other. So the only thing that this is supposed to be doing is that, like, okay, so we're starting on this location. If we chose to go to the cantina, we would have automatically revealed number 3 and gone east. Dusty, by having him, we get to go northeast. And then otherwise we go northwest. And the only thing that we can conclude is that you can look at it this one of two ways. You can say, okay, this is just telling you these are things you could do. And if you want to go to the Sparks headquarters, northwest is the general direction you need to go. And if you want to find the underground, northeast is the general direction you need to go. And I will tell you that if you go northeast from the start and you literally just go up and over, that's not where the underground is. The underground is all the way to the north, all the way to the east. Like it's pretty much in the corner. So there is some truth to that notion. If you want to look at this as just, these are just giving you general directions. But the part that really threw us off, and I hope you can see that, is the choice here. Like, you have to choose, and then it's telling you, boom and boom. Explore normally is you get to move for free. Like, you don't have to spend energy or roll dice. Like, when you start the mission, you're already going to be that far into the mission, or onto the planet. And trust me, this planet is so huge. Having that little bit of extra bonus movement is really nice. This was the one planet so far when my son and I played where we really were seriously running out of energy and concerned that we may not finish. So now here it goes with the Learn to Play. Your squad will find a rhythm of space exploration, scouting to start scenarios, blah, blah, blah. Most require the Sparrow to move through the system and use the scouting action in space exploration in order to start the scenario. As you begin the Jerarch world exploration, you will meet people who will send you on missions throughout the system. Pay close attention to any time you are told to scout. Good luck. Because, yeah, when you're told to scout, that's basically a mission. But scouting is usually when you're in space. So I don't know really what way to interpret this. What my son and I did is we basically just took these as just general directions. We did not do the free movement, but I do highly recommend that if you did do the free movement, it makes sense and it actually sort of works, because this is actually really hard to explore this planet in one visit. All right, so with that being said, I know that was a lot of stuff. So here we have mission 14 is literally Jerarch, which is the planet, and this is just like choose your own adventure, right? So you just go through and you're going to read these different sections. For the setup, it just says boom, Jerarch world exploration, and that's it. It doesn't give you any other thing. Now, one of the problems with move northeast or some of those commands we just dealt with is when this got put on play, this is a halt. You have to do 70 before you can do anything else. So if you were to be able to explore for free to the east, then you're skipping the halt. So there's a lot of problems with this particular setup. And like I said, I think the whole, if I had a chance to meet the developer, I probably would really try to straighten this out to be a little more clear. It was confusing to us, and maybe the rest of you there's always somebody who watches these videos. The rules were totally clear to me. I don't understand why everybody else had a problem with them. And those are the people that drive me nuts. Because like I go through and I take the time to explain why it's confusing, and then somebody goes, well, it wasn't confusing for me at all. And it's like, dude, there's math problems that have only one answer to them. But if somebody explains why they got tricked by the problem and they got the wrong answer, I mean, there's still a possibility of having compassion. It's like, oh yeah, I can understand how you got tricked and got, led astray to the wrong answer. I mean, that's just humanity. Is that, especially if somebody can explain why they ended up in the wrong place. Anyways, I think that, the most annoying person on any of these forums are the people who are like, everybody, like the normal distribution is very strong with this rule book sucks. And then you got that one guy, I thought it was fine. And so, yeah, anyways, that's enough of that rant. Let's just go to 70 and we'll do it that way. So, 70. Remember, it was a repeatable one. 70 says if you have 2 sparks, you get to go to scenario 20. So this is basically like once you start to get a reputation with either the sparks or the establishment, you're basically speaking with the commander, and then some of the story progresses. And so mission 20 is not going to be a space combat or anything. It'll be like what we just did on mission 13. You're just going to read a story and maybe make some choices. So you have, 20, 25, 29. If you go down the sparks path, my son and I went down 30, 40, 37, 40, and 45. And I kid you not, it's literally once you get to establishment 4, you'd read 37, then 38 and 39 are 2 more missions to, that get you up to establishment 7, and then you do 40. I mean, the book is literally it's in linear order. So the 30s and 40s are the establishment missions, and then you can see here that the 20s, the whole set of 20s are going to be the Sparks missions. And yeah, it'll be a combination of coming to the planet and then, doing space stuff, whatever. And then there's this thing called the Ronin missions, and you'll get that at the cantina. And the Ronin are like your Jabba the Hutt, type thing. So 70, that halt 70 is this, and none of these apply to us. So it says go to this entry each time you begin world exploration. So even though that was confusing, and I just went through that whole thing to tell you how confusing it was, and remember it said explore east or explore northeast, well, this doesn't apply to us. So that if you did do the explore northeast or whatever, it's no big deal because there's really nothing to even do here. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you is that the Jerarch market is 15, and we were talking about that with the space exploration, that this is the dock. So when you go to the dock, and we're not at the dock yet, by the way. We're on the planet, and then after we clear this planet, then we will unlock the dock. And then we will finally be able to go to the market, and you can see you can purchase engines 1 through 10, stuff like that. And eventually, when you get level 7 reputation with either the establishment or the Sparks, that you can then unlock higher level stuff. So the market, you could resupply the Sparrow here. We got ship upgrades, which are 50 credits. And then this little -1 with looks like a wheel. That's actually remove trauma. And if you remember, everybody got a trauma because we fought that Titan and it kicked our butts. And then Andrew, because he went unconscious, he actually has 2 trauma right now. So if Andrew's willing to spend, 40 credits, he can get rid of both of those trauma. So that trauma is temporary. Like you can always spend 20, get rid of it. Okay, so I know that was a lot, but that then reinforces the idea that you really could, go northwest. Because if you're going to go to the Sparks, you might as well just, take the free movement. So with that being said, there was also another one here. And you can see it's a repeatable mission. And it has a ship pointing down, which usually means it's a dock. You're right. See, look at the market. See, the market matches. So right here, that symbol matches that symbol. And it has the number 69. And then here you go. Go to scenario 15 or go to space exploration if all pilots use this action. You may continue with the Jerarch world exploration after scenario 15. So one of the key things with this is that if you go to scenario 15 and then you continue Jerarch world exploration afterwards, your energy goes back up. So you don't have to explore this whole planet in one shabam. My son and I did that. And like I said, we were completely out of energy. We had our stress almost all the way up to 10. And then you start taking health damage, right? But all we have to do is go to 69 here, and that sends you to mission 15, which is a whole new mission. And then you come back and you can continue mission 14, and your energy level goes back up and everything. So, because remember, there's 3 ways that a planet exploration ends. 1, everybody goes unconscious. Number 2, everybody gets to the exit. Well, this 69 is the exit. And so I thought there was a third one, but it's eluding me at the moment. I know I explained it to you in a previous video. So that's it. And I'm sorry I'm belaboring this so much, but we really were confused, and we spent a long time reading and rereading all of this to try to make sure that we were doing it right. And technically speaking, this is only our second ever planet exploration. This is the first time we're ever dealing with the market. I remember Josh and I were sitting here with our money, and we were like, boy, we'd really like to go to the market right now because we wanted to start seeing what was out there to buy. My recommendation to you is that you do not need to do the market at this time. I think I definitely agree that it's cool to do the market. But you'll be fine if you go and explore. There's nothing you can buy at the market that's going to help you with the planet exploration. And you're definitely not going to be space exploring until you're done with this phase of the planet exploration. And then, of course, you're going to hit the market before you go and do that. So anyways, with all that being said and done, we have to make our decision. Are we going to accept the free movement? And I'm going to say no, because I'll just come back and do the little market trick, right? Where we go there and then we come back and we rest. So we're just going to start exploring from here and just treat that choice as if it was a general guideline. So I know that was long-winded. I apologize, but that's the weird thing about this game is some of it is elegant, and then other parts are a little choppy. There's a whole bunch of spots where they have grammatical mistakes and stuff like that too. As you play, you're definitely going to see some mistakes. But I still love this game. I think it's a great game. Maybe sometimes, like you can see, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. The normal difficulty is a tad too easy. For me, I wish it was a little more challenging. I know that's why they have these harder difficulty levels. But this hardest difficulty level is almost too... I know I've shown that I can win, but I don't enjoy having one hit destroys me every time. I actually liked, okay, I just got hit and now I'm going to lose 3 points of health. Like, that actually was more fun because the space battles felt more epic that way. Now it's like, oh, I get hit one time, I gotta get rid of my movement, card. There's something taken away from the game by playing it at this level of difficulty. It's a little too hard in that way. Even if I'm still showing that I can win, I don't know. Like maybe the challenge is at the right level now, but I'm not having as much fun. Maybe that's the right way to explain it. Okay, so with this, let's get started here. Everybody has I got to put their stress to 0, their shields to 0. The energy is, oh gosh, I think it's 7. I got to look up. Okay, yeah, the energy is 7. For a 4-player game, it does change based on number of players. And then, of course, I moved it down to 6 for everybody because the first thing you do on your turn is you lose 1 energy. Okay, so there's this intelligence check that has a 3. Josh has 2 intelligence, and so does Andrew. So remember, I think it was Andrew and Starla were a good combo. So we're going to do those again. We found that those 2 were a good combo. And it's all about the skills, right? If one person has a 0, you want the other person to have at least a 1 or a 2 for the same skill. And then these 2 will be together. This guy has the intelligence. And then Enver here, or JB here, has 0 intelligence. Oh boy, has there ever been a more accurate statement there, Mr. JB? All right. Yeah, he has 0 intelligence. He has 2, which is the maximum any character has. He also has 2, of course. But yeah, so we're going to pair these 2 together. The Josh also has a 2 strength, and JB's strength is a 1. So very poor on the strength. The thing that they both suffer is Josh has 0 heart, and JB has 1 heart. That's the best we can do with that combo. With Andrew, he has 2 hands. Okay, so yeah, let's look at the hands there. JB has 2 hands, and then Josh has 0 hands. So those 2 complement each other very well. For the strength, Starla has 1, Andrew has 0. For the hands, Andrew has 2, Starla has 1. And for intelligence, 2 and 1. And then for heart, 0 and 1. So the heart is the weakest of all 4. But anyways, I'm going to put the miniatures to the side because we want to see the numbers here. But we're going to go ahead and start off with, we'll start off with Josh doing this intelligence action here. That takes, see, it needs 3 successes. He has a skill of 2, which means he already has 2 successes. And so he's going to just roll 2 dice to see if he can pass it. Only one of them needs to be a move. And of course he rolled 2 moves, so that was overkill, but that's fine. He rolled 2, and then we're going to read entry number 2. That's really what all of that buildup was for. So let's go to entry number 2. There's a terminal nearby with a blinking light. It's possibly a message that was intended for whoever was initially scheduled to land at the platform. If we succeed, which we did, download a map of Jerarch. A single red dot is on the map with the word cache next to it. The dot's location is between a mountain cave and a lake northeast from here. A code is also written on the map, and it says go to 68. So if we go to 68, and by the way, there was text if we would have failed that test. All right, so it told us that we saw a map and there was a cache in the mountain between a lake or whatever, and you can see there's this code here, and it's JB07, which is funny because it's Josh and JB who found this. So why am I not surprised that JB is behind all this shenanigans here? So this is one of those spots where you're like, well, should we be writing it down? And my answer is like, I don't remember. And so, yeah, we do. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to write down, JB07, and then I'm going to just write the word cache next to it because it's probably related with unlocking that cache. And yeah, you do need the code to be able to do it. I'm pretty sure on that one, but we're going to find out. So I did that with 2 dice, and then I'm going to go ahead and move east with the other one. So I'm just going to roll 1 die for that. And of course, roll to stress. So Josh is going to take 1 stress, and we get number 3 out. And number 3 looks like this. And remember, we were going to head, this was the way to go if you're heading to the canteen. And so there's a halt 16 here. And then you need some strength to possibly get into that place. And then, of course, there's more moving around. So we'll go ahead and lay that there. Josh did successfully move over. He technically has 1 die left. But we got to read 16 now. Okay, so with 16, something appears unnatural about the tree in front of you. The tree's branches are not moving with the wind. Some are actually protracting to prevent you from passing. Other branches are withdrawing to reveal a small door in the tree's trunk, which automatically opens. Stairs go down to the earth into the darkness. A Ur, short even by the standards, emerges. I recognize your insignias, Akarios Institute. Listen, I'm looking for a way off this rock. The infighting here is ridiculous. I'm handy as a mechanic and engineer. He waves his hand towards his tree as home as proof. Will you have me? If we have the sidelines, then we can say yes. So let me show this to you. So this is how like a decision tree would work. If you have sidelines, the achievement, then yes, you can join and you gain the co-pilot timber. And the sparrow loses 1 supply. Otherwise, you have to say, no, we don't have another mouth to feed, and he leaves dejected. So this is where the sidelines one was, I believe we had to not get involved with Dusty. When they took Dusty prisoner, we chose not to get involved, we would have gotten the sidelines thing. So Timber is someone that we're missing out on. And that was our 1 chance in the game to unlock Timber. And these are all the co-pilots in the game. There's a whole bunch of them. And they all do different things, of course. And if we go through here, there's Timber. Timber is an interesting one. Your ship starts with +2 shields. That actually would have been a pretty darn nice one, actually. I would have liked that co-pilot. +2 shields is pretty good. It's one of the better ones, in fact. But because I chose to help Dusty, that's not happening. So so that happened as a part of just entering the area. And then, like I said, he has 1 die left. His strength is 2. This skill check here only needs a 2. So his strength automatically passes. I know I mentioned this before, but it's a very important rule. You have to roll a minimum of 1 die, even if you automatically pass something. So it doesn't matter what I roll. I don't need the die roll. My skill of 2 strength is good enough, or Josh's skill of 2 strength is good enough to pass this test, but you still have to have at least 1 die, and we do. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, and it was the wrong die anyways, but it doesn't matter. His skill of 2 was able to do an entry 20, and then Josh is out of dice. So his turn will be over, and I'll go ahead and put him here so we're not, clogging the space. So I got to go read 20 now. An isolated house stands alone. It appears as though no one has been here for a while. The door lays flat on the ground. The housing effects inside are strewn about. Clearly someone was looking for something. Did they ever find it? Perkins notices a floorboard that is more worn and stressed than the others around. It appears slightly raised. Hey, come help me try and lift this. So that's what we did, and so we succeeded. With some pressure applied, it's easy to feel the floorboard's tongue and groove slide out. In the space below, you find a cache of credits. Gain 10 credits. Now, they use the word cache, and you might be thinking, well, is that the cache that they were referring to? And the answer is no, that is not. Now, in this case, only Josh gets the 10 credits. Normally, when you get rewards, all the pilots get them, right? But only Josh gets it this time. So that was a pretty good deal for him. He's out of dice. Now, remember, JB is going to go hang out with Josh. But before he goes, he's going to do this 1 die here. So we're going to just reuse some dice here. It didn't matter what he rolled. Oh, I'm sorry. He needed 2 dice for that one. So, again, it didn't matter what he rolled. And that's entry 1. And entry 1 is going to be a stinker. I already know, but we're doing it just because I'm not supposed to already know this stuff. Some crates and garbage are strewn about. Oh, no, this one is not a stinker. I apologize. This is really good. Some crates and garbage are strewn about. Underneath it all appears to be something that may be of use. Gain tech upgrade 12. 12 is like beyond what we could even purchase right now. So And here I am telling you it's a crappy one. All right, so here's tech upgrade 12. Oh, look at that. It's a shield upgrade, +1 shield. Yeah, that's excellent. Now, people ask this question in the Facebook forum. I don't know if they do it as much on BGG. I'm sure they do. But on the Facebook forum, this question gets asked all the time. If JB has this tech upgrade, can he trade it to any of the other pilots? And the answer is yes. He can absolutely trade it. He can even trade his entire ship to another pilot. There is no such thing as ownership in this, other than your credits. But even the designer said you could give each other credits too. So in some ways, the money is almost pulled together. We don't play it that way because I don't think that was the intention. And I think when the designer answered the question about giving each other credits, I don't think he meant that, because like the rules should have just simply said that money is just a single pool of money. And the fact that when you get money as a reward, every pilot gets that money. Anyways, I don't want to belabor it, but this is a really nice upgrade. +1 shields is awesome. And JB happens to have an empty tech spot, so he will take it. That'll definitely help him when he's dealing with these mega hits. Having 1 extra shield is another hit point for him. So there you go. There's 2 dice already gone. And then he's got 1 more die he needs to move over here with Josh, and he will do that. And so he's now in the same spot as Josh. This spot here needs 2 dice. So JB has absolutely nothing to do. So what he's going to do is he's going to keep exploring to the east, and he'll use the last die to do that. And so that spot is 10. So they're trying to stick together, but, you know, obviously JB's going to get 1 extra space on him. So JB comes over to here, and there's no halt symbol or anything. And here you can see there's a bunch of stuff to do. So JB will be able to slow himself down a little bit doing a bunch of stuff. Josh still has number 7 to do here. And yes, one of the things you can do is you can start putting cubes on stuff to show, hey, we cleared this whole tile. We did number 20, but we didn't do 7. You see, like, your memory, I don't know how good your memory is, but, like, mine is not always as good. So, like, I can put that on there to show that number 7 still needs to be done. And we can zoom that in for you so you can see that. And, you know, this one is cleared. And once, you know, this is something Josh and I do sometimes, is we flip it over to show that it's cleared. So we don't have to do anything on there. But right now we need it because we got to know how many dice to roll to get off the area. Okay, so now we're going to move to Starla and Andrew. And we can go north and we can go west. And I think we're going to just divide and conquer. I made Josh and JB do clear the whole area. So these guys would have the maximum dice. So I'm going to have Andrew go north because Andrew has really good skills in some things, but he has zeros in others. And I don't remember which way, you know, benefits him. So we're going to go north first. And so rolled, really I'm just looking to make sure there's no stress. We're going to unlock number 2 here. And there you have it. We got another halt. So we got to read number 4. And you can see there's a really big strength check. And there's a really big hand check. So the strength, only Starla has 1 strength. We actually might even need, you know, with this one, you have to pass 4. We might have to get Josh to come up and do that. The hand check, though, is both Andrew and JB have 2 hand skill. So this is actually perfect. So trust me, I don't remember this stuff very well. That's why I stink at 7th Continent. But this was the perfect place to move Andrew, was to go here and do that. But let's read number 4 first. Each pilot moves to card 2 and the round ends. Begin a new round and go to 17. All right, that blows. So what that's saying is that I got to pick everybody up and just put them there. I don't like that at all. So what I'm going to do, and this is a retcon, I apologize. I'm going to start with Starla, and we're going to go to 18. I'm okay with Andrew not getting to do any more actions. That part I'm okay with, but I at least want Starla to do her piece. So we're going to go ahead and explore 18. And I'm just going to assume I went in a different turn order. I really don't like that. And it's amazing I didn't remember that. I think Josh and I ignored it back then too. So here we go. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to do this. This is the end of the map. So if you go here, you know, so rolled 1 die to go there. That's a 19, and it's just going to tell you you're at a dead end. The mountain range is far too vast to be scaled with the proper equipment and preparation. Don't even suggest it to Captain Soma. She'll send you straight to sickbay. Move to card 1. So basically you get automatically bumped back home. So then if Starla would have been the one that explored up here, we would have gotten the same outcome. So all I really did was I saved myself a die and another die, right? 2 dice by changing the turn order. But trust me, it's worth it. So everybody has to move here, and I don't remember why. And our turn ends. So now we got to, you know, lose an energy. And nothing even happens by moving there. It just says everybody has to move there. And then that throws a big monkey wrench into the whole, well, what if you went northeast, right? So the whole thing, like I said, could have been done better. Like even this, I don't understand why we had to all, like I had to pick people up and move them there. So yeah, we lose an energy. And at this point, I would suggest, you know, because we lost 2 energy just to do this, I would actually suggest that for the next turn, we're going to go back, visit the market, and buy nothing, and then come back in, and then we have full energy again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come right back here, and we're going to be back to 6 energy again. And I'm not joking, folks. You know, do it. There's no honor in in trying to, like, you know, let your energy just deplete itself. This halt only happens when you first reveal the card. It's only if there's this little yellow symbol below it that it happens over and over again. So the next time we go there, we don't have to worry about it. So yeah, now everybody's back here, and we're at our 7 energy again, which, of course, the first thing you do is you go down to 6. This has already been explored. You know, these have already been explored. There's nothing, so some exploration has already occurred, and now we're back to full energy again, and let's go. So I know that sounds cheesy, but it's the way the game works. And this is basically a place you can recharge. So they made us, you know, lose our actions. Well, screw that. I'm going to just come back and recharge. There's no penalty. Okay. So I do want Josh to move up and do that strength check, because that's a very difficult strength check. We still need to do this. So I think I'm going to have JB still go east to here, and then, you know, do some of these. We'll have Josh go north, but then he'll go east. And then we're going to have Starla and Andrew go north, and then either west or north again. So JB and Josh are going to still go in the easterly direction. It's just that Josh is going to go north first and then east, whereas JB is going to stay along the bottom. So we're going to start with JB here. Actually, it's best to explore the new tiles first, because he has certain skills that he's good at. And if you spend all of his actions going after these things that anybody can do, then you may have wasted them, right? So it's probably best to go up and, so like we can go up with Starla, for example. That's going to cost 1 die. And so she did that. By the way, everybody's stress is back at 0 too. So so she's up here for 1 die, and then it's going to cost her 1 more die to go this way. So we're going to go ahead and grab number 4. This is what number 4 looks like. And bunch of generic stuff and another generic thing there. But at least part of the puzzle is coming together, right? So Starla has exactly 2 dice left, So we're going to start with, we're going to do 27 here, the one in the corner. So all I want to do is just not roll any stress, and then we'll go ahead and do 27 for Starla. You've noticed trees unlike anything you're familiar with. These trees grow what looks like a unique fruit. Should you try the fruit? Sure, we'll try the fruit. After taking a bite, you notice a strange sensation in your body. You need to sit down, your turn ends. Well, that's great. I used my last die anyway, so that was perfect. And just in case you're wondering, nothing happens. So you basically lose your turn with the, or you have to stop your turn with the fruit. But the good news is that the dice worked out just perfectly, that we were already at the end of our turn anyways. Okay, so let's go forward with Andrew. That's going to require at least one die to go north, and he used it. And then here, there's a hand skill of 4. He has 2, right? So he needs at least 2 from the dice. So he's going to roll 3 dice because we want to make sure we pass this. So basically, his entire turn is going to be spent on that skill. And that's okay. That's what we want to do. And it worked out perfect. This was a bad roll, but these 2 were good because we needed 2 move dice. And so we did number 3 here. Come back. A nearby vehicle must have been blown up because significant pieces are on the roof of a nearby building. Amongst the wreckage appears to be a container with a logo you've come to recognize, that of the Sparks. There may be information or something else of use in the container. You just have to climb up the building to get it. The building itself doesn't seem particularly sturdy. However, this is the success, by the way. However, you made it up and found the container without any problem. It's not even locked. No secret info, but there's money in there. So Andrew gains 10 credits. And there we go. So 10 credits. If he would have failed the test, it would have been bad. Very, very bad. Lost energy, health damage, the whole 9 yards. But the moment that happens, folks, come back, exit, start over. Your health and everything is fully recharged again. And I know some of you may not like it. You think that that's cheesing the game, and that's fine. Play the game your way. But just making sure everybody knows that's an option on this particular planet. You can always come out and come back. All right. So then we're going to go ahead and do Josh. I'm going to roll 1 die here, and we're going to go north, and we're going to go ahead and do that strength check now. So instead of the move dice, I need the attack dice with this one. And again, he has 2 skill, so he needs 2. And there we go. We got it. We don't need to use this stress die. We just need to use these 2. And since I'm not using this, he does not have to take a stress. So basically, he did spend 3 dice. He only needed 2 of them, though. So the number on this one is 8. So let's go to that one. This neighborhood has really suffered from the fighting that has gone on. It is quiet for the moment, and that gives you time to spot something of value. Unfortunately, it's almost entirely covered by rubble from recent combat. Success. You clear the debris in a delicate manner as possible. It all feels like more could come piling down at any moment. Fortunately, you can grab what caught your eye earlier, a compartment box with government insignia on it. The lock is smashed easily enough. Gain 10 more credits. So Josh is rolling in the money here. He just got 20 credits on this planet so far. In fact, I'm going to hand those in right now and grab a 20 over here so his wallet doesn't look so fat. But his turn's over. That took up all of his dice. So then we're going to go ahead and do JB here, and JB rolled the 1 to move over. He's got 1 here that takes 2 dice. So he did that, and that's entry 7. And then I'm going to just go ahead and roll real quick. He's going to finish his turn here on this spot. Okay, but we're going to read entry 7 first. Jerarch has a lush and vibrant topography. For a moment, it's easy to figure that it is in the middle of, easy to forget that it is in the middle of the Civil War, until you look closer at the trees. Hastily built platforms are there, some of them scored by blaster marks. It appears this was the site of an ambush, and the other side fought back. So it was nothing but flavor text. And that's fine. There's going to be a lot of that in this particular planet. So this particular one is cleared. And so I'm going to turn it over just to show there's nothing left to do. And every entrance is one single die. So that's pretty standard. And then we can just, do that. I can even do the same with this one. It's just that since it's our starting base, I can remember that we cleared that one. So that's all I do. Once I start clearing things and I have all the directions scouted out, I know I technically don't have this one scouted out, but Josh will come over this way. And then we just keep going. So everybody's taken their turn. They've used up all their dice. So now we burn another energy. So everybody goes down to 5 energy remaining. And I got to reach across the table. Holy cow, an hour in already. I know I got long-winded. I apologize. All right, I think the first thing I want to do is get Josh into this new area. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I rolled. It's number 6. So we have this here. And Josh moved there. He spent one of his dice. And let me bring this up for you. So here you can see that goes down to the area we just closed. There's an area to go east and an area to go north. And like you can see, that's all one die. There's going to be 3 generic search locations there. So Josh can spend his whole turn here checking those out. But yeah, it's a pretty standard location. So he spent one of his dice doing that. And then he's going to spend 2 more to, we'll research 25. He does gain a stress. Oh, you know what you could argue? Since all 3 of them needed 2 successes, unless Josh was going to move to another tile, you might as well just roll 3 dice because this last die is a waste. So I'm going to do that, and then I don't have to gain the stress. And I know that was a little bit of a retcon, but it was, if I was smart and I was thinking, I would have just rolled the 3 dice, knowing that one of them could have been a stress, because that last die would be throwaway. Unless I planned to move, and I wasn't planning on moving. I wanted to stay here and clear the area, so we're going to go 25. I'm very methodical that way. I don't like just exploring all the zones. I want to at least clear what I can, and I certainly don't remember which ones are good and which ones are bad. Several young year males are loading crates onto a transport in a rush. The hurried loading job is very sloppy. When they spot you, they hop on the transport and leave without a word. As they speed off, several crates fall to the ground. The containers appear to be government property. Inside the boxes, you find credits. Gain 10 credits. Josh just got 10 more credits. He's up to 30 now. Boy, that's like the most awesome. Oh, he's rolling in the dough. Okay, so his turn's over. We got JB here, who's got a lot of exploring to do, and even multiple directions. So this is interesting, but we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to roll 3 dice, because we're going to explore. This one is 1 die, and it's wild. 2 dice and wild. It doesn't matter what the results are. The only thing that matters is if we roll stress. So he's going to roll 3 dice to resolve both of these, and then a 4th die to go east. And I'm just going to roll all 4 of them together. But I'm just declaring what I'm doing. I'm going to reveal this, and we're going to move east. Okay? Nothing can stop him. And there you can see, he rolled 1 stress, so he'll have to take 1 stress. The values of the dice don't matter otherwise. So JB gains 1 stress. And I just got to make sure I read the notations. 21. You have reached the cantina. Do you enter? Oh, gosh. I got a little ahead of myself. Let me just read the other one first. 22. Let's do that one. A small temporary stand is set up behind the cantina. The Yer who is standing next to it gets your attention. You look like people with a purpose. Don't get caught unawares during these unprecedented times. Be prepared for any eventuality. He pulls back a musty drape to reveal his wares. All upgrades cost $10 or 10 credits more. And we can buy any weapon from 10 to 19, but it costs 10 more credits than normal. That is an amazing deal. Just to put it in perspective, we can 1 through 10. So these ones, right? This is all we can buy right now, is this. They're saying we can buy 11 through 10 through 19. So we can grab number 10 here. So we can buy any of these. And remember, if JB buys these, he can give them to anybody. And I think this is where the question came up of, can you give credits to other players? Because like in this case, JB has the deal to buy something, but this is a visit once location, and then, you know, you can't visit it ever again. And so it was like, well, can I give him credits to buy something for me at that location? The good news here is I think all have plenty of credits, but yes, that's where this gets a little nebulous. All right, there's some good stuff in here, and we're not going to be able to access this for a while. But first of all, let's start here. 10 is flashing light, which JB, by the way, is a assault heavy ship. Flashing light does 3 damage, and it's only a single die. And you can see it's got this big range of hit. It does miss, like you have to be further away. You can't be right behind your target. But it does 3 damage, and that's pretty darn good, if you ask me. Right now, he has burst fire, which does 3 damage if he spends 2 dice. And then this also does radar jam. So this is just weapon 10, folks. Weapon 10 is pretty darn good. We may actually want to do that. Let's see what else we got. All right, so let's go to weapon 11. Hull steel. So this one, you shoot, it do whatever damage. It does 3 damage. Another 3 damage attack with a single die. Again, heavy. And then you repair 2 hull. This, by the way, is awesome if you're playing in normal mode. But in our mode, where we're barely ever taking any damage because it's either, you know, we damage a module or nothing at all, it's not as good. But this is also hits 2 targets. That's really amazing. But yeah, you'll repair 2 hull every time you hit somebody. This can be amazingly good. And look at that, it's just 1 die. So really, really good item. Look at this one, stun shot. Now this one would be for somebody like Josh with the EMP blast. The problem is the EMP blast hits multiple targets and it goes radially. This one is a straight shot, but look at that. It does 3 damage and it stuns. So this is like the best of both worlds. Now, only research ships can have it, and that would be, a research ship would be, this would be for Andrew and Josh. Those are the 2 ships that could take that. Now, if JB were to buy this, it would cost him 35 coins because it's 10 more than normal. He could buy this and then just give it to them. Then there's 2 of those available. Then there's Energy Explosion. And look at this one. So remember, Josh has an EMP blast right now. It looks like this. So it costs 2 dice. And here you can see it does 1 damage. It hits 2 targets 3 spaces away. This hits 2 targets 4 spaces away. And it can stun or slow. And it has 1 less supply cube. So remember, we've run out of EMP blasts with Josh. But so it's still just a 1 damage attack, but it takes 1 less die to do. And it'll still hit 2 targets and it goes 1 more space away. That's an amazing one. It's a nice upgrade. I mean, the supply is a little less, but that's a really nice upgrade for Josh. See, there's a lot of good ones here. Where am I at? I was doing this in a certain order. Oh, it would go here. I got them backwards. There we go. All right, breaching shot. Now this one does hull breach. It looks a lot like the burst that JB currently has. Let me show you his current burst again. So So JB has burst fire. So this, of course, can fit on any ship. JB is an assault heavy, so he can definitely equip this. It does hull breach. So if this ever were to do hull damage, then it applies hull breach, which means that at the start of the enemy's turn, they take 1 hull damage for the rest of the battle, unless they get healed. So you can see it's just a pure upgrade, except this one is really good at up close, right? And this one is a little further away. You can see that even for 1 target, it does 3 damage. 2 targets, it's 3 damage. Here, it's 2 or 3. And this doesn't do any hull breach at all. They're very similar. Against a single target, it still does a little bit more damage. But, arguably it is an upgrade. But how much of an upgrade? It's very similar. Still not a bad one. Then we got Shard Launch. This is an amazing one. Look at that. 3 damage against 2 targets radially, but it takes 2 dice. And that's the big conundrum there. Now, if you remember, Josh has this energy explosion that only uses 1 die. And then he has this interrupt beam that does 3 damage next to it. So if you move to this energy explosion, that uses 1 less die. This uses 1 more die. So Josh needs both of these together in order for him to have a good dice economy. For him to grab Shard Launch right now, this is a huge upgrade for him. However, his EMP Blast takes 2 dice, and then this takes 2 dice. It's really hard to get all of your attacks in. And then here you can see you can actually turn it into 4 damage if you ever roll stress, and this pushes them away. This is an amazing one. It's really, really good. Then we have Quick Attack, which here you can see is a very short range attack. It does 3 damage, and then you can rotate afterwards. So you could shoot, and then this effect occurs after you do the shoot. Then you can rotate after, which would then let you possibly shoot someone else. It also does some armor piercing. It's only for command ships, though, and that would only be Starla or Josh. There's 2 of those, and then we got Supply Charge. This is a really interesting one. It's a command ship only one. It's got a huge attack here, and then look, it resupplies you. So you only have 2 supply on it, but basically you could use that to resupply itself. So it basically is a forever attack if you wanted, but you can resupply something else too. And but it does require 2 dice. It hits 2 targets and does 3 damage. That's a really, really good one. Chain Laser. Okay, this one was one of my favorites. It is for scout only, so this is Andrew. He has the propelled shot right now, but Chain Laser is any target within a radially of 3. Does 3 damage. With a stress, it's +1, and it also breaches. There's 2 of those, and then the last one is Targeted Bomb, which is weapon 19. Targeted Bomb is a scout-only type of attack. You do have to have some range, and then it sort of hits this area, and it'll hit 2 targets for 3 damage. It does take 2 dice, and then it will give target lock. All right, so you might be thinking, well, is that really it? We have stuff that does 3 damage now. And the answer is yes. Yes, we do. These are still, you have to get to Reputation 7 before you can get any of them besides Weapon 10 here, this one. These ones are not available to us at all. So if we were to buy one, we have to pay 10 extra credits. Now, which one do we absolutely need? I'm thinking the EMP Blast. Although that EMP Blast goes from 3 supply down to 2, I don't know how excited I am about that, because then we have to resupply even more frequently. I do rely on that guy stunning, don't I? So much. But sometimes we weren't able to stun because we didn't have 2 dice to place. So I really like this one, but gosh darn it, we have to pay 40 Now, if it was Josh paying for it, that would be fine because he's Mr. Moneybags. JB, that would be a lot of his money. This one I definitely like. The other one that I was tracking my eye was the supply charge. I know it's only for command ships, but Josh currently has interrupt beam, which is a very weird attack. He's got this one here. That's a very bizarre attack. So he could do this, and supply charge would let him charge up his EMP blast. The problem we have is it takes 2 dice, and I can only buy 1. So the EMP blast right now takes 2 dice. The stun shot, or whatever it was, energy explosion, reduces him down to 1. That's perfect. So this supply charge would be a perfect thing to go with it for him. Then I thought there was another one that was really good for him too. Like this stun shot here. This is actually an interesting one. It also stuns. So it's like, should we give Josh 2 different stun attacks, right? This is a stun attack that does 3 damage. That's really good. So rather than the supply charge one, right? That does 3 damage to 2 targets. That's really good. It'll resupply something. He could maybe take the stun shot. And so he still has an attack that does 3 damage somewhere. But right now he's using this because it only uses 1 die. But what a weird attack that is. And I know we're talking so much about Josh here, but that's the thing, is there's some nice stuff for him. And this one, of course, is... Yeah. The only reason why I'm tempted to do this is like if his EMP blast runs out of charges, he has this that he can use, and then he has 3 more charges of that, so he can still keep stunning people. But we are running into problems sometimes where he needs 2 dice and he doesn't have 2 dice. So I'm sort of tempted to do this one, even though he's going to run out of supply quicker. And yeah, out of all these, the stun one is the one that, we absolutely need. Everything else is sort of nice to have. This supply charge is really good. If I did that for Starla, that would replace this one. Long shot. It's actually superior to long shot in almost every way. Except long shot you can do with 1 die. Yeah, and we're talking about, okay, well, we're not giving that to Josh anymore then. That's true, but we can always trade it with Josh later. I know I'm spending all this time. I apologize, folks. This shard launch is an amazing one. Why was it that I said? Oh, because it takes 2 dice. Like, it's a great one, but I need to reduce the number of dice. Okay. Or we can just say, hey, JB's the one that got this, so let's improve JB. JB is A and H. So here's 1. JB can take shard launch. It'll hit 2 targets for 3 damage. It's actually not a bad deal. Why wouldn't we do that? Because JB has that burst fire. This is better than burst fire in every way. Yeah, I think JB will buy shard launch. Because he's an assault ship. He's actually the only one that can... Well, actually, Starla could buy this one. I don't know if Starla needs to, but... if I remember correctly, I actually bought that for Starla, I believe. The breaching shot is another one, which we said was very similar to the burst fire. Hits 2 targets, but you can't be quite as close. That's doable. This energy explosion, we've already talked about that one a lot. The stun shot we talked about. This one I just think is just too wonky. It doesn't fit what we're trying to do here. And then the chain laser I know is really good, but it's a scout one. So only scouts can take that one, and only Andrew could take that one. So we'll go ahead and hold off on that. Yeah, so let's just get something that's going to help JB. So we're going to get Shard Launch. That's going to cost 40 credits, unfortunately. And let me make sure. 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Where the heck is 15? Is that this one? Am I buying 15? I am. Ha ha ha. It's funny how math works. All right. So we're going to buy that for 40 because we have to pay 10 extra credits to get early access to this high advanced equipment. Now, with that being said, we're going to get rid of Burst Fire because we don't need this. So we can sell it for half the credit. So we're going to actually get a 5 credit thing, and that's weapon number 3. So just got to put that back in the deck. So I only need to pay 35 credits instead of 40. And yeah, that's not a bad deal. JB is going to be all about the damage. All right, so here's his money. 20, 30, and 5. And here you can see he still has 40 credits left. So not a bad deal. He almost bought that completely with basically the credits that he's gotten from the higher difficulty. So I apologize. That took a whole lot of time to do, but that was a really sweet one. That one right there. And I also have the issue of the Cantina, and then of course the moving. So let's look at the Cantina one real quick. Do we want to enter? I can say yes. And then this is one where, remember I told you that this is like the Jabba the Hutt type thing. So they're called the Ronin. That's the smuggler group. If I had Ronin level 2, level 4, or anything like that, there's other entries I would have to read because my reputation with them would be a little bit better. But that's not the case here. We got to go to 60. So I'm going to go do that. And let's read what that has to say. Okay. Judging by your faces, most of the group are having second thoughts once you walk in. The clientele at this particular cantina aren't the sort of people you'd like to run into a dark alley. Not if they weren't on your side. Maybe even if they were. Soul isn't bothered at all. He eagerly finds a booth and signals someone over for some drinks. In a good mood, he starts to chat to the server. So where's the action around here? The waitress cocks her eyebrows towards him. You sure know what you're asking for? She looks towards the back, where a figure is about hidden in the shadows. He gives a nod and in return and waves you towards a private room in the back. The waitress eyes you warily. You'll probably wish you hadn't. So now we have to continue to part 2. You all crowd into a relatively small room. The woman in charge is already seated, an accomplice on either side of her. She is a tall by your standards. See? You're, not your. And definitely in control of the room. 2 guards watch from the door. She seems to be the only one who is relaxed. Come in, come in. Make yourselves comfortable. Manage to squeeze into a seat. She continues, I'm sure that you're wondering why you're summoned here. To put it succinctly, I believe there are some opportunities between us for mutually beneficial business arrangements. I am nothing if not motivated by good financial choices. I believe that I can figure out what motivates you, Akarios Institute. Let me just say that these are all optional missions, but I found them to be very lucrative, just like she said. There's some good money to be had doing these missions. She smiles to herself, apparently pleased with the introduction. Your reputation is known to us, a terrible tragedy to happen to a planet. Terrible. I was so sorry to hear of it. She makes a melodramatic show of grief, and then the back of her hand to her forehead, and a single sob that borders on parody. Now that that is over, let's talk brass tacks, shall we? The Akarios Institute has a particular set of skills. As for myself, I represent a small group of enterprising contractors. Her compatriots remain quiet and expressionless throughout the exchange. What we do have, though, is information the sweetest currency there is. In particular, we know of a transport vessel on its way to Jerarch Central Bank, a transport that does not have the sort of security detail it is accustomed to. How terrible that corners have been cut as a result of this civil strife. By the way, it's not a transport ship going to a bank. But she notes your discomfort at this idea. My friends, don't be such prudes. It's blood money paid by Dr. Zane to some other competing Ronin interests. We simply wish to divert their funds to more deserving parties. Besides, we also know other things, such as where the Sparrow is stationed. This is not a threat, merely the facts. Play your cards right, and there will be a position in the guild waiting for you. You are free agents after all. Saul shifts uncomfortably in his chair. Rather than getting a consensus from your group, he follows his guts. Well, I guess you have a deal. What do we call you? You may call me Misdirector. Those in the guild call my group the Red Panic. So we get a Reputation 1, Ronin 1, and in order to continue, we have to do a mission, mission 49 in V5.3. And what they're doing is they're referencing the space section. So here we go. Right there, that's 5.3, see? So they're saying that somewhere on this card, I won't reveal it to you, but on here is going to be that mission 49. And so what we do to represent that, and I have my window open, and there's coyotes howling in my backyard. I don't know if you can hear them, but it's pretty cool, actually. So first things first is we got Ronin 1. So we get that, and then what I like to do, oh, this is not the right one, so we're just going to use the back of Andrew's. Yeah, here we go. So here we got like mission 8, 3.2. I think we already did that one. So I'm going to do Act 1, and then this is mission 49. Sorry, I'm trying to write without a back here, and this is 5.3. Okay, so that's just basically letting us know we've unlocked that mission. So if we ever, get to that, it's just going to be hours or videos from now, right? I'm going to totally forget that we've unlocked that mission. And so we'll go there, and that's how we'll do the first thing of this transport going to the quote-unquote bank. And the Dr. Zane, by the way, was the guy in that Titan that blew up the whole planet. So we do have incentive to try to disrupt his financial gains here. So to spoil it a little bit, it doesn't have any money on it. It has people. Okay, so that's it. We went into the cantina. That's resolved. So you can see here that this is another issue I have with the game. You come back here over and over again, and there is no yellow line under here that says this is repeatable. This says you do it once and then it's over. That's not true. It even has, if you have Ronin level 2, go here. If you have Ronin level 4, go there. You come back here over and over again. It's missing a yellow line. This is a print defect on the thing, and they just didn't catch it in their edits. So, I mean, I could put a red cube on there, but technically you shouldn't. That's a place you go back to over and over again. And then lastly, like I said, we revealed 19. And it's good. We wanted that Ronin mission. That's all we needed to do. We don't want to leave the planet yet, of course. We got to go speak with the Sparks or the establishment. And here we go. So now we have the edges of our map, right? So basically this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. And so we hit 42, which I know is going to bump me back, but let's go ahead and read it. If I can find it. There's nothing of any consequence here. A body of water and a rock face as far as you can see. Return to card 10. Okay. I'm at an hour and 25 minutes. I need to wrap this up. But these three guys still need to go. So let's finish their turns. And then I'm going to have to wrap this video. It's also super late at night. I mean, I just told you I had coyotes howling in my yard. And then I guess I'll have to resume this another day. But yeah, let's go ahead and do everybody else's turn. And again, we need to explore, we need to do things. So let's put the camera down. So we got Starla here, who has 2 spaces. They require 4 dice. We can roll all 4 at once because they're wilds. None of them are stress. So 13 and 12 is all she needs to do. I'll do 12 first because we'll just go in order. And let's do that right now. A couple of male Yurs are standing nearby chatting. While they notice you, they don't seem interested. It's not hard to overhear what they're talking about. Can you believe these spurts of rebellion? It's sparks of rebellion. Whatever they're called, they've no right to damage the neighborhood like this. They should do what civilized people do and write their local politician. I don't think they felt like writing could change anything. Of course it don't. That's the point. Nothing ever changes. No point in raising a ruckus over it. That's it. It was just a conversation. Flavor. 13. A couple of yours are standing by a plaque nearby. They appear to be mother and daughter. It's a nice thought to name this building after Raina Sparks, but I always thought she was a troublemaker. They should really look at changing it. Mom, it's not fair to erase her for standing up for what she believed in. Well, plenty of people were hurt. And look at this insurgent group that she's inspired. You can't hold that against her. She's been dead for ages. Besides, they may have a point. Esmeralda, don't you dare go down that road. You keep walking. It sounds like civil war is about to break out between mother and daughter. Again, that was only flavor. So Starla basically spent her whole turn just reading. Then we have Andrew here, who will be exploring. We got Josh here, who has 2 spots, right? And so those both need 4 dice. So we're going to go ahead and do Josh. Josh takes a stress. And he'll be doing 26 and 30. And that'll finish up his. We'll do 26 first. It's been a long, hot day as you walk around. A nearby small pond looks idyllic. Will you drink the water to replenish your energy and health? I sure hope I don't lose my turn. I'm going to say yes. A nearby Yur notices you stoop to the pond and stops you. You don't want to do that. That's fed by underground runoff from a nearby farm. Lots of animal waste in the water. Here, have some of mine. She offers you her canteen. You gain 2 energy and 1 health. And who was this? This was Josh. So Josh goes up to 7 energy. And his health was already maxed out at 7. So not much to do there. And I'm realizing I forgot to set the shields are your energy. Yep, we're good. So Josh is back up to 7 energy, but everybody else is still at 5 right now. So he was able to recharge some energy, just him. And then the other one was 30. A Yur comes stumbling into the clearing. He has a gun in his hand, but it's not clear what he wants or who he may be affiliated with. When he sees your group, he immediately raises it. I'm sorry, I just need money for my family. Do you try and convince him to drop the gun or rush him? You may lose 1 energy to regain all your dice. So I'm going to do that because Josh just got a whole bunch of energy from the water. So he's down to 6 energy. So he's got his 4 dice back. Chances are we're going to have to do some kind of skill check. And so let's go ahead and go to the next page. And I wanted to show you what this looks like because this is different than what we normally are reading. So here you can see, convince him to drop the gun. and you would have to do a heart check, and you need 4 walking or 4 move colors. Or we could rush him, and you need the hand 4. And Josh, by the way, has 0 hand and 0 heart. So he's like the absolute worst person to do this type of check. And it's really hard to do this without seeing some of the rewards. And you may have already noticed it. You're going to gain a pilot skill if you pass the heart or hand. The problem is Josh, like I said, has 0 and 0. So he needs all 4 dice to succeed at this. Otherwise, he's going to take 1 damage as the guy shoots and runs away. And it doesn't matter which one he does. He's got a 0 for both. So we just need a lot of moves and a really good roll here. So let's put this down. 4 dice, baby. And remember, he can take a stress to re-roll 1 time. And look at that. He actually got it. He just has to take 2 stress here, and he'll do that. That's worth it. He gained a pilot skill for that, and he passed. There's no matter, like I said, which one he did. It's not like you get an achievement or anything. Both of them give him a pilot skill. So let's take a look. Josh was heading up this tree to get rid of his -2. So we're going to go ahead and fill in half of that -2. Perfecto. Okay, well that was worth 2 stress. That absolutely was worth 2 stress. So that was all 4 of his dice again. So his turn's over, and the only one left is Starla. Her area is clear. So we're going to go ahead and flip this over. She needs 1 dice to move out, and you can see it's number 5. So we'll do that. And she, of course, seeds. And here's number 5. So there's a big heart one here, and that there. So we're going to go ahead and try to do the heart one. I'm sorry, that's not Starla, that's Andrew. Andrew has 0 heart. Oh boy. So we're not going to do the heart one yet this turn. He'll have to do it next turn. He's going to roll 3 dice to do number 15 here. And again, it doesn't matter what he gets, they all pass. So we're going to go ahead and 15. And I'm definitely going to put cubes on because I have to actually, I'm going to call it a night actually. It's really late. So I need to remember tomorrow or whenever I can get back to this. Hey, a sign over a warehouse door that features a stenciled blaster. Perkins points at it and says curiously, I wonder. He wanders over and is greeted by someone at the door. They have a short chat before Perkins summons you over. Who the heck is Perkins? Okay. These guys sell arms. Maybe it was we sold. These guys sell arms and other materials they normally sell to Ronin, but may have some use for us. You're inside. The building grunts. Ronin, freedom fighters, mercenaries, it's all the same. What do you need? The first purchase is 5 credits less. Available only once per pilot. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is a repeatable one. Oh yeah, it has the yellow line on it, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off. This is a weapon shop, and I'll let you see here. We can buy engine 1 through 10, weapon 1 through 9, tech 1 through 11, or sparrow 1 through 5. That's the first time you're seeing that. Now, basically it's 1 through 10-ish for everything. Now, at the end of when you go to the market, remember we were talking about the market. I'm flipping over to look at what's at the market. So, engine 1 through 10 is available at the market. So, weapon 1 through 9, tech 1 through 11 is at the market. At the other guy, it's 1 through 13 here, and throw 1 through 5 is available. So it's basically all the same stuff. However, it says per pilot first purchase is 5 credits left, and it's once per pilot. So all 4 pilots can go here and buy something for 5 less. That is a good deal. So we want to make sure we do that. And right now we need another engine. We're completely missing an engine. So engine 1 through 10 with a 5 credit discount is worth doing. And so we're going to go ahead and do that for Andrew. The only thing that stinks about this is it's really hard to keep track, especially when you're leaving for the night, to remember the time I come back to the table. Oh, this guy did it and that guy didn't. So I know you're not going to like this, folks. Everybody does need to spend the dice to do action. I, without a doubt, agree. To save time, I'm going to make a purchase for all 4 pilots now. I'm just going to set it aside with the spot. So, like, the money they're going to spend is going to, and it means that 15 to accomplish the purchase. But we're going to do the purchase now with everybody. So I'm not going through these again and again and again in front of the camera. I hope that makes sense. So, like I said, this was engine 1 through 10. I just got to grab everything that goes up to 10. And here we go. Now, a lot of these in the lower end are going to be familiar to you because we were able to get an engine upgrade free, barrel roll, bank, right? Then there's some newer ones, right? Now, a lot of these are really, the whole reason I want an engine upgrade for all 4 of them is that's another hit point for us, right? Because every time we're going to be destroyed, we can flip one of these over to avoid being destroyed. Well, having another engine is basically like an extra chance for us. So it almost doesn't even matter what I purchase. But let's look at them anyways, because some of these really are nice. And this one, Overload, can only be used with stress. But look at this. You move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces forward. I love this, except that's too iffy. You don't always roll stress. I mean, I know JB rolls it like it's candy, but everybody else doesn't. Now, this is your basic movement. It's almost identical to the basic. It is actually identical to the basic movement. The only thing different is you can move straight. So the basic movement is up and over, or up and over. This one lets you move up and up. It does have the stress rotate, which the basic movement does not. But look at this. You can supply yourself once. So this is only going to be used by an assault ship, though. So I cannot get that for Josh, who wants to resupply his EMP blast. But this does work for anybody who has an assault ship, and that would be JB. It costs 20. Remember, we get a 5 credit discount. So I am going to buy that one for JB, I'm pretty darn sure, because any chance to resupply is awesome. You definitely want to be resupplying. And that's just part of your basic move. And there's 2 of them. So if we had another ship with an A, oh, actually Starla has an A. So I might buy that for Starla as well. Let's make sure, or let's figure it out. This is a heavy, which the only ship that has this is JB. And that would be, it's a defensive move where you can move backwards. Now, Josh really loves this one. Being able to move backwards. This is one of the only times that you can actually do a move backwards, and you even repair. So it's one of those things like you got a little too close and now you need to back off a little bit and repair. So you can back off a little bit and also get them in position so you can hit them. JB's the only one that can do this, and I like the other one better, the supply chain. And we've got 2 of those. Interference. This can be used by Josh and by Starla. It does radar jam anybody within 2 spaces. So all you're doing is moving by them, and you're radar jamming them as you move by. And it's an infinite number of targets that are within 2 spaces of you. Now, the question has always been, is it before you move or after? Or is it during, right? When does the radar jam actually happen? This is a confusing one. And I'm trying to remember, because I think this was brought up on the forums many times. And the answer is it's after you move. So wherever you finish is when you apply this. It's not before you move. So so if you move up, up, and over, you go start at that spot, and then you go 2 spaces in all directions from that spot, and you radar jam anybody. Okay? Now, it does have, this is really nice. Always nice to be able to use a stress die to get you a free rotate. This is not a bad card. I think the supply chain is better, but this is not bad at all. And that's something that Starla and Josh can use. So we're going to go ahead and set those off to the side. Then we have Disrupt. Now this can be used by Josh and Andrew. And this is Disrupt, and you are moving an enemy unit instead of yourself. So you move an enemy 2 spaces forward, and then, you know, one of those. And then here's the Rotate. So you could possibly rotate an enemy as well, so you can, you know, make it so it's easier to do your proctology exam. There are certain ships that you can't move, and it does, you know, cost a die. And here you're moving any ship that's within 4 spaces of you, and it's 1 ship. Now this is where being able to target more than one would be really nice. Like Starla has the targeting computer ship. Her ship is a targeting computer on it that lets her add 1 more target. Unfortunately, her ship is not a research ship. But if we could ever get 1 more target, I mean, then you can move 2 different ships. This is a really amazing one because you can also make them move through asteroids and stuff and make them take hull damage. If you move them through a nebula and they have no shields, you'll make them get stunned. This is a very, very good one. So I'm going to set that aside. And there's only 1 of those, by the way. And then we have low thrusters, which scout ships can use, and it's just basically a 2 move. It doesn't cost any dice. It's a free move without using any dice. So that's what makes this one nice, and it's scout only. So that is just Andrew. So a lot of good choices for Andrew here. The rest of these we're going to say no to. So I'm just going to set them off to the side. And here we go. All right. So for the assault ship, JB absolutely is going to get this for a 5 credit. So it's going to cost him 15. JB has 25 credits left. He has definitely blown through a lot of his money. And then what I'm going to do is, like I was saying, let me show you. This is JB. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in his spot. But since he's not at that location yet, I'm going to put his money on top of it to show that he still needs to go to that location and pay for it. Okay, so the next one is Starla. Starla has to decide, is she going to do supply chain or interference? Those are the 2 she gets to choose from. They're both really good. Ooh, I'm sorry, I am tired. I honestly don't know which one's better. They both have wonderful uses. This is really good for moving a long distance. Like, you know, basically your basic move is up and over or 1, 2, 3. This is a 1, 2, 3 and over. You know, I mean, it's an up and over, and like it's both of your basic moves combined into one. It's really nice. This though is still an up and over. It's not bad, but being able to supply. And now looky here, you can only use it twice, and then you have to supply this again. But that's pretty good. You can supply your other stuff that way. I'm not so certain that that's a bad deal. Now, Starla has the flank. Yeah, I'm going to get her the supply chain. You can't underestimate the power of supplying. If Josh was able to get this, I would give this to him. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And yeah, she's going to take her 15 credits and stick it on top because Starla needs to move there as well. So that means this one's out. That's number 8. So we can put that right here. Okay, next one we're going to do is Josh. So Josh is a C or an R. So it's either going to be the interference we were just looking at or this disrupt. And that's a really difficult choice. Remember, Josh is going to be spending a lot of his time using his dice to stun others. So he actually would have benefited a lot if he would have been able to take that low thrusters one, but he can't. I think for Josh's purposes, he's going to do the interference because Starla didn't do interference, so we're going to let him do it. And it'll also let him move really far and position himself nicely. Like if he needs to move in and stun people, right? This gives him more movement points than, well, actually, this is actually, you're moving the enemy. So he can move the enemy towards him. I still like this one. We'll do interference and then put 15 credits on there. And we already know that he's Mr. Moneybags, so he's got plenty of credits. Now, mind you, you could buy other stuff at this market, but only the first purchase has a discount. And I would recommend you just buy everything else at the market because we already confirmed that the market sells everything that this guy sells. Actually, the market sells more stuff than this guy. So anyways, the disrupt I'm going to give to Andrew. Now, this is a wonderful one to give to Andrew because it only uses cubes. I do really like it, but this disrupt is amazing. Josh, much fun moving enemy ships with it. Dastardly. Can't really argue with that. So Andrew's going to go ahead and get this one, and he is the one that's doing this action. So that will cost him 15 credits, and he has it already unlocked right now. So let's grab 15 credits from him. Done. And Andrew has 20, 40, 50, 60 credits left. Okay, so that was all the actions for him. Now, there was one thing you may have picked up that we could have bought Sparrow stuff. Sparrow stuff is a whole other animal. You've never seen that, but the Sparrow can get upgrades too. Now, there's a spot here on the Sparrow, here and here, and when you buy the upgrades, they fit into that spot like that. And so the Sparrow can have 2 upgrades at any time, and those upgrades apply to all the pilots. If it affects pilots. Sometimes the Sparrow can participate in an attack. Remember, so far the Sparrow just sits there and does nothing? Well, these upgrades could let it start to attack and stuff like that. So it was basically 1 through 5, if I remember correctly. 1 through 5. And I actually think the 6th one's available in the market, but we won't worry about it. Now, you might be correct in saying, well, why didn't you buy any of these? We can buy them at the market. We don't need the Sparrow to be upgraded yet. And we can buy it at the market with whatever player has money left over, right? Because that's the problem. And this is what actually gets you to the can players pull together money? Because if you're buying a Sparrow upgrade, it's not for a player, it's for the Sparrow. So, could one player put in 10 credits and another player put in 15, And the answer is yes. But here we go. Let's just go through them real quick. I am not going to buy any of them. So starting with number 5 first, all pilots start with +1 hull. That's a decent, or +1 shield. I apologize. That's really good. This one, a pilot can put 2 dice on here to reduce, any pilot can put 2 on here, and then everybody on the game board, it's infinite range, infinite targets, which is only your pilots. right? It's never going to be the enemy. -2 stress for everybody. So that could be really powerful. It's a once use, one-time use. Here's one. Same deal, except one die has to be stress. And this, by the way, if you play stress dice on here, you don't gain stress. It's a nice way to dump your stress dice. Everybody on the game board heals 2. And of course, it's only pilots again. Don't start to overthink that. And then the last one here is resupply. So if somebody rolls 2 stress dice, you can put it on here, and everybody on the game board gets 1 supply. So, Josh can resupply that EMP blast. This one we actually picked, and it was really valuable because you know how when we roll those stress dice, sometimes we don't want to take the stress. This is a nice place to dump your stress dice, and then everybody gets to resupply something at the same time. So that's 1 through 5. I guess we're missing number 4 here. Where's number 4? Here it is. Number 4 is all pilots start with +1 hull. So the big dilemma there is I really love the supply one because being able to resupply everybody once is good. But the +1 hull, +1 shield is really hard to not use. Like, it's just such a good thing to upgrade your ship because keeping your ship alive is the most aspect of the game. But with that being said, with this whole one hit, one kill thing, maybe that's not as important for us anymore. This other stuff is a little more important. So we're not yet where we're going to buy Sparrow upgrades, but just to get your mind thinking, that's only coming soon. As soon as market, we'll be able to buy those. And you saw that they were, they're 25 credits to buy, and like this one, 40 credits. So, some of these are pricey. So we may not be able to buy them all. And we do get some of them for free if we get lucky. So, and what I mean by lucky is there's some planet, if you go there, you pass your skills, you could theoretically Sparrow upgraded. Okay, so we went up. We spent 1 die to do that. We spent 3 dice to do this purchase, which I know we just had a lot of time on. But now everybody at least has their picks. So it's just a matter of moving them to that location and getting it out of the way. And they already got their money set aside so they can do that. And not to be cheesy again, but if we ever go to the market here, we could just decide as a group to exit the map, come back on, get full energy, and then just go right up to here, buy that pilot upgrade, and then buy this, the engine upgrade. Yes, you really, really can. The world is your oyster in this game. I think I've said this before. I don't care for the planet stuff as much, although it is a nice break to the monotony. One of the gripes with Gloomhaven is every mission started to feel samey. You probably saw my Gloomhaven playthrough on the video game version on Steam, and I never finished it, right? I made it at least 40, 50, 60 missions in before I quit. I was winning almost every time, and it gets boring, or samey or whatever. The one thing I like about this is it does break up the constant space battles, right, that you have to do. But with that being said, I never liked Seventh Continent, and this has got a very Seventh Continent feel to it. So I'm not a big fan, but my son loved this. He really thought this was a great aspect of the game. The one thing I do appreciate is that there's some nice rewards. Like, you go to these things that look benign, and lo and behold, you find Tech 11 upgrade. It is pretty cool in that regard. So anyways, I am very tired, folks, and I'm at almost 2 hours. We only explored a little bit of this planet, so we're gonna have to do the rest on another day. As always, thank you for watching. Stay awesome. Like I said, I love this game, but man, oh man, it's not a quick one to play. If you've got a game group of 4 people, it's going to take months to finish this game. And I totally applaud you for having a group of friends that's that dedicated. To me, the only way to play this is solo. Because there's nobody else insane enough to, I'm playing this, this whole week I've been busy with school starting for my boys and, just personal stuff, right? I'm squeezing in a game of this. I didn't start recording until midnight, and now it's, almost 2 a.m. So I'm squeezing in my plays, whenever I can. I can't even imagine trying to coordinate my schedule with 3 other adults to play this game. Not going to happen. My son and I were able to play quite a bit because we at least lived together. So it was pretty easy to, say, hey, are you bored? You want to go play? Okay. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching. Stay awesome and be safe.